Good morning, my dear friends. I am Rehan Mukherjee. This is my channel. It's me, Rehan. Today, I am going to take my breakfast complex study. Okay, my dear friends. I will show you my nature. I am going to breakfast. Look, my dear friends. This is my breakfast complex. I am eating complex daily. I will show you some method. Look, this is my nature. Look, this is my nature. Hello. This is my another nature. This is my God room. Look. Look, this is my God room. And look, this is my breakfast complex, and I will make after eating. Okay, my dear friends. Look, my dear friends, I am going to eating my breakfast complex. I am complete my breakfast, and I am going to doing some study. I will make after doing my study. I will show you. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my study. Look, this is my writing. Look. Look. Look, this is my writing. And look, this is my examination. Look. This is my train. This is my. I am ready for my exam. Look, I am complete my study. I am going to taking some rest. Look, my dear friends. This is my mother. My mother was going to today's 15 August, my Independence Day. Look. Oh, look, my dear.
হিন্দিতে বল।
Good. এই যে আমার
जय हो।
आजा आजा जिंदगानी गाने।
Good afternoon, my dear friends. I am going to eating my lunch. Look, this is my lunch. I am eating chicken and dal rice, and I will make after eating. Okay, my dear friends. I am showing some nature. Look, today is Independence Day of India. Look, this is my God room. Today is 15 August. I am celebration. Okay, my dear friends. Look, this is my eating. Okay. I will meet after eating. Okay, okay. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my lunch. I am taking some rest. I will meet in my study. I will show you my teacher and study. Okay, okay. Look, my dear friends, I am Rehan Mukherjee. I am going to doing my study alone. My teacher is not come in my house because this is 15 August. Okay, and I am going to doing my study. I will meet after doing my study. I am doing my search tasks and I will wait after doing my study. Okay, okay. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my study. Look, I am ready for my examination. Look, this is my exams question answer. Okay, my dear friends, I will show you my Bengali study. Okay. Good evening, my dear friends. I am Rehan Mukherjee. I am going to doing my Bengali study. Okay, my dear friends. I will meet after doing my Bengali. I will show you my Bengali writing. Okay, okay. Look, I am writing Kamal Kabir Kadar Kabir. Look, I am writing Kopir Wind. And look, this is my writing. Madana Kana Madana Sani Madana Digani Madana Sanu Madana Diganu Madana Ni Madana Kana Madana No Madana Kana Madana Uno. Okay, my dear friends, I'm complete my study. Look, this is my outside nature. Look. Okay, my dear friends. Okay, I will meet after doing yoga class. Good. Look, my dear friends, I am mother. My mother was making the ready to yoga class. Look, this is my yoga mat. And look, this is my mother. Okay, please show me your face. And look, this is my live class. I will meet after doing the live class. Okay, okay. Look, my dear friends, my mother was cutting the papaya. Okay, look, this is my mother's hand papaya. Okay, my mother was cut the papaya. Okay, and I will going to doing my yoga live class. Okay, okay. Good. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my yoga class and I am going to eating my dinner. I will meet after eating. Okay, friends. Okay. I will show you my dinner. Look, my dear friends, this is my dinner. I am eating roti, chicken and sweet. And I will show you some godroom nature. Look, this is my nature. And look, this is my lunch. This is my dinner. I am going to eating my dinner. Okay, friends. Good night. Tata. Bye bye.